Rated T for teen.
My name is
Alright, we are here. It is Mr. J again. Guess who's with me? My Jonah Ray, the Mountainman. No, it's like you're always on the podcast. You know, I'm actually curious, how many podcasts do you think you've been on now? Since episode 100, and when this airs, we're going to be in like the mid 140s.
Aside from the news, probably most of them.
Fuck. Can't get rid of him.
No.
Let him in on one, it's like he's moving in. Nope, you weren't there for Sin City.
No.
That's the one you missed.
I missed that one.
And we have some movie reviews that are going to be coming up soon.
Oh, shit.
But this week, we're going to talk about a game that we both rented at the exact same time. 2 different platforms. I picked up the PS4 version. You picked up the Xbox 360 version.
I did.
We are talking about WWE 2k15. A lot of mixed emotions going into this game review.
I actually had some big expectations on this. It had been a long time that I'd played a wrestling game.
What do you think was your last wrestling game?
Probably back to what WrestleMania are we on now?
Shit, I don't even know. I stopped
30,
watching.
33,
33, 34.
Is it that far now?
Maybe, I don't know.
Oh, I don't even remember.
Well, let's see. Taker's 21-1. He started around WrestleMania. He missed a year or two, didn't he?
I think we're like 30 or 31 now.
Yeah. That makes it. I want to say 32.
I would say 5 years probably.
5 years. So was that? No, that was before the 2K series because it was still in THQ then. So that would be like Raw versus SmackDown, right?
Yeah, Raw versus SmackDown.
And that franchise started off good and then fell apart.
Yes.
But then Sega picked up the franchise and ran with it. So this is. I actually fell off playing these games because I found it to be very repetitive. I found the CPU to cheat, as all gamers would say. The CPU cheats. It's true though. It's honestly true, and you got a taste of it, which we'll get to soon. And then when Sega picked it up, I feel that Sega does very well with their 2Ks. They were also creators of, they still hold the NBA franchise completely. They cannot be touched in the NBA franchise.
EA doesn't do it anymore.
They gave up, but unfortunately EA took them over on MLB and they took them over on NHL.
No, MLB is not EA.
Who's the MLB then?
It's the one from Sony. The show?
The show, that's right.
Yeah, Sony's
That's
got
my
that.
bad. I haven't played a baseball game forever, though.
EA has not had a good They haven't had a baseball game probably in 10 years.
And it's been
the last one was like the Triple Play series that I remember.
Oh, jeez.
We're talking like 90s, 2000s.
Well,
it's been a long time.
Going into this game, I recently acquired. I actually own 2K12, 2K13, 2K14 because I found that they really breathe new air into this franchise. It was because the control schemes didn't feel so sticky, and they changed little things up here. But in this game, which we'll get to, they added some new elements to the gameplay that I'm not 100% sure right now if I was into it. But overall, this game has a lot of positives, and it also has a lot of negatives. So we'll start with
the general kind of setup of the game.
Setup of the game. Okay. I think to start that off, I do not like the options. I don't like the opening screen. I know it's nitpicking, but it was just like...
Well, it's because it's Cena.
Oh, besides John fucking Cena. John Tiberius Cena. Like, I cannot stand John Cena. He is the one... I would rather look at a bag of dicks before I look at John Cena every day when I load up a video game. I cannot stand him.
Just watch that Pete Holmes video and you're fine.
I know.
You can just loop that one spot. There you go.
Dicks. I think those were touching. I think... When I got to the opening screen, you had your expedition. I can't say expedition. Can I talk?
Exhibition?
Thank you. Fuck. You had the 2K showcase. You had the NXT or create your own wrestler.
You got to create
you had
your own.
Create Storm. You had to create community. You had your options, whatever. First thing is, the soundtrack for this game was not flattering.
I was not a fan. Most of the time I was playing the game... I listened soundtrack-wise, commentary-wise for probably the first, 3 or 4 matches I had.
Yeah.
And at that point, I then went ahead and promptly muted it, and I put on my own soundtrack.
Mm-hmm. When we get into the actual options of the game, nothing really changed compared to the previous years, which you don't know. So
I would.
I kind of be feeling the background. There wasn't much changes from that. They were really pushing for the PG audience, so for you to have blood, you actually have to go out of your way, go to the options and turn it on, rather than have it on and go and turn it off.
Right.
That's bullshit.
It's no different than, what was it, like the old MK series on Sega Genesis?
You had to do the AB, ACD, AD. Yep.
Well, that was Super Nintendo to do the...
No, that was AB, AC, AB.
Oh, was it? Yeah. I thought it was Sega had it unlocked.
No.
And then it was an option. Or
original Mortal Kombat was that, and then it was, and the Super Nintendo version had Sweat.
Right.
The overall feel from the game, from the moment you loaded up, it got to the point, which made me happy in one regards, because as soon as you loaded the game, you're starting the game. Before, there'd be like this 10-minute cinematic, and you're just like pressing start, nothing's working. You're like, I don't care about WrestleMania anymore.
You could jump in real quick, quick match, exhibition, here you go. I had lots of options for, hardcore, like TLC.
Yeah.
You had all those Hell in a Cell.
Yeah. Which will bring us to, which will just move over to the actual gameplay portion of it. Gameplay-wise, there was a lot of match types. But here's the thing, that this is the benefit that they have going into this franchise. This was already established from previous generations.
Raw vs. SmackDown.
Raw vs. SmackDown especially. Even before that, even some of those matches were still being done on the N64.
Yes, no
for
mercy.
WrestleMania 2000, best game of all time, short of WCW versus NWO Revenge Tour. Oh yeah, that's right. I went that far.
Oh, still, No Mercy is still probably one of the most popular by most. Because it's still being played to this day, modded.
I would love to have an N64. Oh, yeah. I have No Mercy somewhere. I just got to find an N64. What is your opinion going about the gameplay? What did you think about the grappling system when you had the... what was it? When you had to do the actual grappling system and you actually wrestled. Where you put him in a headlock and he can get out, or you can
you could kind of go from position to position.
So that was new.
I liked that idea. In practice, though, it was horrible.
The first time I tried it, I did not understand the concept of it. It was like, okay, and then eventually figured out, I just got to move the right analog stick till I find the sweet spot, and then it opens it up. But you don't have to move to the next position. You can just punch them while you're doing it.
Or you just go right in,
or you just jump out of it.
Side headlock. Yep. You go right into suplex, whatever.
And I think that was a breath of fresh air in my opinion.
And it was good because in the same instance, if you got someone into a corner as an example, you could then, he's standing in corner. You could prop him up on turnbuckle.
Yep.
You could drop him to the ground.
Yep.
So... It gave you an opportunity to maneuver the person the way you wanted to, which you would do in a real wrestling match anyways.
I also found that when you did a suplex near the ropes, the game knew better. And sometimes would have you pull him to the middle of the ring.
Or just pivot and turn.
Or just pivot right. Or if you did get punched and you fall to the ring ropes, you would actually grab the ring ropes on the way down. See, that was a huge upgrade from over these years because... How many times that you would sit and you do suplexes and suplexes and suplexes or whatever, and you're in the corner like, this is not physically possible. He would be paralyzed from all the shit I'm doing to him. And then, of course, which I call it the Stone Cold Steve Austin issue, is when you would give the guy the stunner and he would roll to the other end of the ring and his feet would still be under the ring ropes. And at that time, you weren't able to drag him forward, so you had to wait, get him back up, just to punch him back down, just to pin him. That was kind of frustrating. But in this version, it's like, no, we finally caught on. Took us 20 different versions. It's like, oh, we should pull them to the middle of the ring. This is a good idea. Well, I can talk. I guess I could talk about the 2K version of it, the storylines, and then you can talk about the next because you did the next more than I did.
I did NXT. I just because I'm a fan of those wrestlers in real life.
I did like the first 2 or 3 matches, but there's a qualm I'll bring up. But when the 2K portion of the game is where you play 2 different storylines. You play the rivalry between CM Punk and John Cena, which was a good rivalry. This was the reason why I liked it is because it was fresh. I stopped watching wrestling a long time ago. So when this rivalry happened, and I am a huge CM Punk fan, mile 18. I'm going to keep bringing that up. If I ever meet him, I'm like, dude, mile 18.
Blueberry muffin wrapper.
Blueberry muffin wrapper.
Blueberry muffin wrapper.
I'm never going to let that go.
Nope.
I really enjoyed the storyline. I found they actually put cutscenes in to make it feel like it's a real event. They had everything to make it feel good. And then the other storyline was the infamous Triple H Shawn Michaels storyline when Shawn Michaels came back after his back surgery. And then the infamous Hell in a Cell match that followed. Not Hell in a Cell, sorry. Elimination Chamber. I think it was the first Elimination Chamber at that time, or the second one.
It could have been.
Those were fun to play, but frustrating. And which we'll get to the gameplay qualm is the game realizes it needs to do certain things to achieve the correct atmosphere. Like you need to, like if you're playing CM Punk, you have to land the GTS and go for the pinfall. How in God's name how I have 3 finishers, barely any damage to my character, and John Cena is beaten to a pulp, gets up, hits an FU, and gets a pin on me, blew my fucking mind.
It's not the FU, it's the attitude adjustment. Get it right.
I remember what happened then. I even told you. I punched my PlayStation 4 controller.
Yes, I know. You told me.
I was like, this is horse shit, and I just punched it.
And then because we were both rage quitting that night because it was terrible. And the one match I was doing the NXT storyline with Sami Zayn specifically, and it was a match against Cesaro. I literally, between punches and grapples thrown, I had done 20. 18 of them were reversed, only 2 of which I could reverse back, and I failed both of them.
But that pisses me off though. Like, why can't we go back to the reversal system that was in WCW versus NWO or No Mercy?
I don't even recall that one, to be honest.
It's just a simple tap. You have to make sure you're smart enough when to do the reversal. It's all.
But that's all this was too, though.
But it was fair because there was times like, you know what? Sometimes the computer's going to whip your ass. It happens. But in that scenario, if you do 20 moves and it reverses 18 of those 20 moves, that's kind of ridiculous. That's almost a borderline impossibility. Unless your guy is in a coma and he's picking you and he's giving you suplexes.
Yeah, well, it was Cesaro. Guy's a beast. One of my favorites, actually.
One thing,
I just hate the name.
Cesaro. Yeah, that's a really fucked up name. This is why I'm happy I don't watch wrestling anymore.
Claudio.
So the whole thing once you complete both the storylines in the 2K section, you basically unlocked a couple of people here and there like Vince McMahon, Triple H, and more things. And that is the huge thing. It's like, congratulations, you got the 2002 No Mercy costume. Great. I'm never going to use it. Like, thank you. Like, this did not make sense. I think they spend more time going, we give them more bells and whistles, they'll forget the fact that the game sucks.
Yeah.
That's really what it felt like.
It was more about customization, character creation. Because I literally, once we had rented it, I kid you not, I think I spent 3.5 hours just in creating one character. Yeah. And that was very detailed this time around. It wasn't so much the character creation. Like, I was going through all the options, masks and pants and boots and color schemes, and I'm like, okay.
Which is typical.
Which is normal. And it was above average, right? I would say. It was the move list that was tedious.
There's a lot.
It was ridiculous as to how many situations and moves and sets. I will admit, the move selections and what they had option-wise, I was impressed with some. I was actually impressed that they actually had named them right.
Some of them.
Some of them. Other ones, I'm like, okay, no.
But there was a lot of tedious moves in there. Like, do you honestly need 14 different versions of a suplex?
Yeah.
Like,
well,
I mean,
if
you know what it is like they were just doing is that they were just loading over the previous year's move list and dumping in new ones instead of going, we have the same suplex. Instead of, putting both arms up, he drops one arm, or this guy's leg tilts forward.
Yeah,
like, that's just being really stupid. I don't think a gamer is going to sit there. Like, I know I don't.
No,
There's only one.
This
is what I look for. There's certain moves that I want in my move list. I want a spine buster, and the best spine buster is either Triple H or The Rock. Or
no.
And that's my opinion. That's my opinion.
No. God, all right.
Or German suplex. I want the one when he.
Double A.
Oh yeah, double A. Sorry. Or I want the German suplex where they release him mid-toss. Yeah. That's it. I don't need to be able to have, German suplex on the right shoulder, German suplex on the left shoulder. Like, it's too much work. Okay, and I understand that...
German release.
Just German.
German with pin. Not
pretty much. I think they spent more time going, we have so much options that you will not play the game because you'll spend so much time building your character, you'll forget the game exists.
I could have spent more time, like, actually doing a move list. But yeah, there were specific ones. The one that stunned me was actually, it was a Japanese suplex. Manami Toyota, specifically. The Japanese Ocean Queen Bee suplex.
I think I saw that, yeah.
Where it is a belly-to-back version with the arms crossed across the stomach.
Yeah. And
she does it electric chair style. So she literally will duck her head under the opponent's legs, lift her up, and belly to back. And it was done well in the game.
Not right, apparently.
And then, of course,
Paralyzed.
when you're setting up our characters, of course, on Facebook, I'm like, OMFG, El Generico's Top Rope Brainbuster. I'm like, they actually put it in the game.
Yep, pretty much.
I don't know if they actually gave it to Sami Zayn, who happens to be El Generico.
That's probably why they put it in there.
Probably. I don't know if it was actually in Sami Zayn's move list, though. I didn't actually look.
Wow. That's just splitting the hair.
But the funny part is, I did put it on my character. I never used it once. It was too hard to figure out to get it to work, and the controls, and...
No, going back to the creation part of it, I think... the move list took a long time because it was so tedious with the amount of things you could do.
Yeah.
Like that, you know what? They simplified the dress creation part of it because before you had your cutscene, you had your match, and you had your walk down to the ring.
They still had that.
They just kept your match and your entrance, and it was quick. It was quick to jump back and forth. Mm-hmm. You can. I found that so much easier over previous years. The creation of, and this is just an overall been a running tally of things that piss me off, is creating the entrance that. I actually have to turn the audio off during that because every time you go to a new portion of when you're doing the events, it restarts the music constantly.
Yeah.
And then you get really annoyed.
You know what? Honestly, I remember making that exact similar entrance 5 years ago. There was nothing new.
I did not find new stuff in there at all. They maybe tweaked a couple of things.
Maybe some new lighting.
Because I did like an NWO theme, so I had to go black and white when I came out.
As opposed to it just being like, like a yellow or red, whatever.
But before you had to like make sure you clicked it at the right specific time when the frame restarts. This one's like, okay, you missed a spot, you can go back, grab it, move it over manually. I'm like, oh. Why didn't you do this in other games? That would make more sense. Yeah. And the pyro was nice, but you lost, unless I'm wrong, because I remember checking, is that you lost control of changing the cameras. Before you'd be able to choose what camera is where. Before it's like, nope, that's just your entrance, deal with it.
Yeah.
That I did not care for. And the final piece, which I'll leave us with that, is the community creation. I don't know if you jumped into that.
I did not.
I did.
I don't have that capability on mine.
Someone had to go and flash their Xbox.
Yeah, it's been flashed for
cheater.
Years.
I like that because I end up going in there and I end up downloading the entire NWO built. And all these different, I will always get blown away the amount of work that people put into the shit they do. So...
Yeah, I admit that's the good thing about the character creation, you know what I mean? And just to finish off with that, yes. You literally, any character. I'm surprised you didn't make Laparka.
I didn't make Laparka.
And
I didn't have enough time. This is a game you actually do have to own. Just for if you want to do every little thing you want, renting it is not enough time. Even with a week, it's still not enough time.
Correct.
So moving on to the presentation, this is probably the positive part of the whole conversation. Blown away from a lot of the graphic standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
I really was blown away.
Yeah, graphically it was great. Like, even though I'm playing, not on next gen console, 360 was solid. From the entrance perspective, the game, even with the new people in the game, from your NXT wrestlers to the old school, it was good. Like, I had no complaints with the graphics. Aside from their soundtrack selection.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't care for the music, but it was good.
Yeah.
The quality of it was good.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
That was fine. Like, I had no qualm with it whatsoever. The graphics just blew me away. The entrances were really good. The music was perfect. I found almost no flaws in that part of the game because the execution was bang on.
And they've had that going on for years. You know what I
True.
mean? Like, that's the one part. It's the gameplay that is where it always
But they also
comes down
incorporated things into this game they didn't before. I hate the stamina meter. I'm going to stand by and say is that's the biggest piss off, and it should be in any fucking game is a stamina meter because I learned that from Lords of the Fallen.
I was waiting for that mention.
And this is a good example. But what I liked about it is that if you hit like a finisher and you just have that much stamina, you're basically wiped. You can crawl over on the map like it's like a dramatic situation. Just drape your arm over to get the 3. Yeah. See, that's cool when you pull shit out like having matches with Shawn Michaels landing the super kick and then falling on top of the guy because you're just gagged. It's a Shawn Michaels thing, right?
Yeah.
His old man flop, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, where he does
happens to be a pinfall involved.
The last second, last ditch super kick. Right in the mush, he whips around 360, falls down Ric Flair style.
Yeah.
On top, yeah.
That I did enjoy. I just like the fact that they actually climb up the ring ropes now when they're gassed, whereas before they just get up.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of new elements they brought into the game, and I did like the grappling system that they put into it because it does get annoying after a while. But it gives you more control in the other hand.
It was more involved, which is
It was
fun.
more involved because it gives you more of a dramatic situation. So what was the NXT like?
NXT, it was just more storyline and unlocking of characters. Instead of doing the more modern WWE universe, you were specific with Sami Zayn, Adrian Neville, and there was one other. And I really didn't have a problem with that because Sami Zayn, a.k.a. El Generico, for those that don't know. I will say this right now. Anybody that is listening, please look up El Generico Brainbuster. That's not Brainbuster, Brainbusta. And you will know it's New Jersey Pro Wrestling.
Good way to get paralyzed.
Funniest skit, well, not skit, but end to a match, top rope Brainbuster, the announcers, classic.
The announcers of silence.
They sell the whole clip. Like, it reminds me of old school Japanese wrestling.
Yeah.
That's how they sell it. And he's always been one of my favorite independent wrestlers ever. I'm glad he's actually in WWE. It's good to see someone from the indies making it.
Yeah.
I'm kind of actually looking forward to, I believe it is December the 11th. His former tag team partner is finally going to be making an appearance.
Good.
And both of them are Canadians. So that's always good.
Good.
Yes.
So what's the overall? I already know.
We've talked about this. Like, graphics is one thing.
Yeah.
Gameplay is that much bigger. It's the whole polishing up a turd. I
love this analogy that I made. That
we bring this up multiple points. Yes, the game isn't the greatest. The controls aren't the greatest. It looks good.
It looks good.
At
Sounds
that
good.
point, it looks good. Sounds
and
good.
I noticed that they incorporated enchanting a lot better. It's a lot stronger.
Yeah,
Like,
I would
it
like
makes
to see
sense.
I would like to hear some different chants, but I'm not going to
Cena
get that.
sucks always makes me laugh.
Cena sucks. Yeah, that's always a good one. I have no problems with that. I would like to. I didn't catch any. I don't know if it's just me, but the holy shit chant would be good.
They don't.
No, because it's PG.
It's PG.
You know,
but I mean, the crowd seemed a lot more responsive to some of the moves you did. Like if you did like an oh my god moment instead of oh shit because it's an oh my god moment they have in the game, the crowd goes fucking bonkers, which is cool because it really gives you that adrenaline rush. Even though you're playing the game, it gives you an adrenaline rush. Ultimately, I'll go back to the point. What got this game its points was its graphics. And its sound. I mean, there was a lot of... This game was poorly mapped out and how they wanted it to go. And we'd even talk about the WWE Universe because really, it's the same thing every year. When you jump into it, you make your own storylines, you make your own pay-per-views, and you move on.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. And it's nice to have a GM mode. I am not a huge fan of GM modes. So...
I've never been even in non-wrestling games.
I'm one of those people that, even like NHL.
Like NHL, no.
Yeah?
I hate it.
I just can't get into it. Why do I want to match a hockey team? I want to be the fucker that's scoring all the goals.
That's right.
And that's why I have 50 goals in 10 games. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you don't play with offsides, dumbass.
I fucking hate offsides. Yeah, so what if I cherry pick? But I mean, when I'm playing this game, I remember when I played the original Just Bring It, Here Comes the Pain, the original games, they just gave you
versus Raw series,
They give you a generic storyline, like, okay, here you go, and you actually would play a storyline, and it got boring after a while. But that's like 3 years of a storyline of having championship matches and building yourself up. Like there's like
building a rivalry
with people, or you get injured and you actually move 6 months in advance. Like that was more fun. Now it's just like, okay, you need to relive the storylines because we're out of ideas. And here's an NXT. And mind you, the only qualm I have about NXT is that there was like no sound in that. There was like no back. And believe it or not, it sounded dull without the background music when you were talking with Hugh Morris. And I was like, it didn't even feel like you were in that gym. It just felt like you was just in front of a microphone staring at you from your TV. It was just really weird.
Yeah, but even in the matches, it was pretty quiet. But NXT is a smaller venue, so it did feel right.
You don't need to hear the crowd, per se, but maybe have some type of background music so it doesn't feel as empty, because it literally felt like you were just you there by yourself. Like I said, the and the CPU in this game, especially, this is my experience anyways, in the showcase, just cheated the fuck out of you.
Yeah, well, I already told you my experience with the one match.
Yeah.
And it happened on multiple occasions. Maybe
it
not
got
in
so
that kind
frustrating.
Of a ratio.
Like, it got to the point that you're landing multiple finishers and they're either still kicking out, or you go to pin, they reverse and they climb up, hit you with a finisher, and then you can't kick out.
Yeah.
And then
because now you're gassed.
Because now you're gassed and you can't kick out. And that was just a horrible experience overall. So overall, I'm going to tell you that my opinion is going to be a 5 out of 10.
I'm going to rate it similar. I would say 5.5.
Ooh.
It depending on my mood that day and if I'm raging or whatnot, I could probably give it as high as a 6 and as, a 5 as well. So
I think
I'm going to cut the difference.
The reason why I cut it so low as well is the roster was not flattering. It does have the current roster, sure. And I know this is probably not fair and people can get pissy with me about it. I don't give a fuck. There was Austin, Ultimate Warrior, and then you had like Triple H when he's old. And you're just
when he's old, so now.
So he shaved his head.
Yeah.
That's really it. Like, I don't really know anyone else anymore. Oh, The Rock. Can't forget about The Rock. But I mean, come on.
Yeah, like I don't follow it so much anymore, but the roster's familiar. I will watch the odd pay-per-view once every 2-3 months.
It didn't appeal to me. Like, I could, back in the day, I can sit there and play exhibition matches. Oh, I said it this time. All day long. And be fine with it. Like, oh, today I'm going to have Brock Lesnar fight Stone Cold Steve Austin in a TLC match because I could, right? Or a Hell in a Cell match or whatever. This is just kind of like, okay, Brock Lesnar versus Cesaro. Who fuck is that? Like, it's because I fell out of wrestling, sure. But what I never understood is why everything has to be an unlockable. It should be like, here's your roster.
Mm-hmm.
Because then, yeah, it takes away, but there's other things they can achieve. They can achieve maybe different match types. They can achieve more storylines or trophies. You want to be stupid. Like, I mean, there's so many other things you can do rather than like, okay, so if you want to play Bret Hart, you need to make sure that in the match against John Cena, you land a sharpshooter and he taps out. You're like, no, I don't really want to do that. Like, I'll beat the shit out of Cena, sure, but I don't want to give a sharpshooter. At times it
was very, very specific.
They're very specific, especially in the 2K showcase. Like, you have to be in this, make sure the storyline flows, sure, but sometimes there's a bunch of things I skipped because the CPU just would not let me have it. So I said, fuck it. I lost it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to stick by my 5 out of 10.
I'm going to stick with my 5.5, yeah.
So overall, I mean, this is a good game if you find it in your local car wash bin for $5. That's being nice, I think.
Even maybe 10.
It's not. It's a game that's worth a rental for you to go. I should definitely,
or at least at this point, rent it, check it out, see what you're willing to pay for it at that point.
Pretty much,
because everyone's opinion is going to be different. Ours isn't gospel by any means, but this is our experience. If you find you rent it, you think it's an 8 or a 9, you know what? Turn around, go buy it. That's fine. This is just our particular opinion, and there he goes on his phone. What a jackass.
It's not my fault. People are whining. All right, well, that's
Stop
it.
your whining.
Hope everyone enjoys the podcast. I'll see you soon, Jimmy Chung. Fuck you, Cena.
Game over, man. It's game over.
Thanks for listening to the Droids We're Looking For podcast. Stay tuned for next week's podcast.
Remember, the Force will be with you, always.